Here we go.
Hi, Carl.
Hello, mate.
Ah, dear me. January.
Oh, the January blues. Got the January blues, is he? Look at his little face with the January blues.
We've got the January blues, and it's actually only the 10th of
Oh,
December.
Look at his little AirPods with the January blue. New Christmas present, mate?
No, I've had these for a very, very long time.
Before they were popular, is it?
No.
Before they were popular?
No. No.
No. I bought them when they were popular.
I got them when they were a hype. No, I got these. They released a new one, and then they've released, I think, another 2 models since then. And I like these because when I'm having a phone call with you, or when I'm driving my car, I like to be able to hear what's going on outside. And the later models, they block all the noise.
Oh.
Other headphones are available. What a
opening. all the hard work that Apple have done. Steve Jobs, bugger off, mate. Tom's not interested in your developments.
I do like the fact
the old models.
I do like the fact we started this week's episode with, hi, Carl, hi, Tom, and then went straight into a debate about headphones.
Well, yeah.
Why if not? That isn't worth $29.99, yeah, roll the bloody titles. Oh, Carl. So it's the second week in January. Tell me what date this is.
This is the of January.
Excellent. And I hope everybody's enjoying the podcast so far this month.
On the of January. I can tell you exactly. No, I can't tell you what date this is supposedly going out because my phone is recording my ugly face.
Exquisite. What have you been up to?
Same writing things songs. I did all last year.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Writing songs, staying at home.
Writing songs, hanging out with the dogs and my wife, and talking to no one on the phone, apart from you.
Yeah, we were having a little chat just before we started recording about
the one chat where I said, Don't talk anymore. Press record.
Yeah.
This is gold.
We were talking about cars, and I said to you, I've got a really, really good car story.
Yes.
Really, really good car story.
Shall I set the scene up as to why we were talking about cars, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we started talking about cars because my car's just been in for a service. Now I have a service plan with it. So it's been in for its 3rd service, except I missed the date because the date was during lockdown, lockdown in September. And the lovely woman from the place that I bought it, that I shall not say because it probably will need to go back to them at some point, said to me, you missed your service date, so that's going to be 280 quid, please, Mr. Morgan. And I said, wow, £280, but I've got 3 years free servicing with it. You missed your date, mate. She didn't say mate. She was very polite. And, and I said to her, well, can you tell me the date that you called me on to let me know when my car should have been in? Oh, we don't keep phone records. I was like, so how do you know you called me, you dope? I didn't say dope. I was very polite. I said, how do you know you called me, lovely lady? And she said, hang on one second, Mr. Morgan. Clearly put the phone down like this and went, yeah, just bring it in. We'll do that one for free for you. But it will be the last one we'll do for free. I was like, no, I've only got 3 years servicing anyway, you dopey Don't put the T word in the like holder because I was very nice on the phone.
Okay.
So that's what started the car story off.
What day have you got to take it in for your store?
It's been in New Year's Eve. Yeah, she did do me over in the end. She said, bring it in New Year's Eve. I was like, well, I haven't got anything else to do anyway. So suck it, Gil.
Perfect.
Suck it, Jill.
Imagine if she was called Jill.
That would be amazing.
I don't think she was. For legal reasons, we can't tell you if she was or wasn't called Jill. But
only the names have been changed. Apart from hers. So, Susan, you
So, my good car story that leads on from that, really, really good car story that leads on from that.
Yes,
it was, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. So I've done a gig in Essex.
Yeah.
And I've been to see a guy and I've seen this car. I really, really want it. So I put a deposit down and I come home. Now, if you're picking up a car, I don't live anywhere near Essex, by the way, but if you're picking up a car that's 4 hours away,
yeah,
it's quite difficult to do. And also, I didn't really know the guy I was buying it from, nor did I know.
It was a garage, though, was it? Or was it a private seller?
Half and half. It was a bloke who had a few cars.
Right. Okay.
So anyway, he rings me up and he says, when you coming to pick the car up? And I said, I'll find out for you. So I phoned my mum and I said, Mum, can you drive me to Essex on Friday to pick this car up? Because it's 4 hours away, Tom. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, but I'll have to get the train otherwise, and it's a bloody long way. And she goes, no, okay, I'll drive you. Anyway, it gets to Thursday. I'm excited. My mum goes, I can't drive you anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get the train. Anyway, at this point, the guy rings me up and goes, going to have cash for that car. Now, it was like, it's a new car.
How much was the car? Because that either which way, it's going to be a lot of cash to carry.
I think it was 10 grand. I think it was 10 grand.
Okay.
So he said, he actually said, can you send me some more money now? And it was just getting weirder and weirder by the second.
Okay.
And I was like, no. And he said, okay, then cash. So I went back to my mum and I was like, Mum, I can't get on the train with that amount, with £10,000 in cash.
Yeah.
She was like, of course you can.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, I'm sure he's going to look after you, Mum. He's a Nigerian prince.
So flash forward to Friday. I booked my train to Essex and I went to my mum's house and she gaffer taped, after I'd gone and got this money, I went into the bank and I was like, they were like, what's it for? She gaffer taped it to my torso. So I looked like the Michelin Man.
Yeah.
And I got on the train to Essex. Well, I got on the train to London. Then when I got into London, I'm on the train that comes out of London that goes through like Southend and stuff like that.
All right.
And I'm on that train and it's quite late now. It's like pub kicking out time. And everyone that's on the train is hammered. And I'm sat on my own, just like this, huge, with all this money taped to me. And the closer I get to it, the more I think this guy's just going to kill me and take the money. And I got there and he took me to his house and he was a lovely bloke. Like, I totally got it wrong. I'd just like been thinking the worst of it. And I got to his house and he said, where's the money? And then this bloke I'd never met before had to like cut the gaffer tape and rip it off and pulling all the hairs out my chest in his bathroom while we counted the money that I'd had like strapped to me for the last 5 or 6 hours. It was a very, very odd scenario. Very odd scenario.
It's one way to buy a car. Most people just go to a garage, but you know.
I really wanted this one. Really wanted this one to the point that I risked I when you talk yourself into something.
To the point where I had to catch a train to go and get it. I risked life and limb, everyone. I got on the train, I sat in first, and I went all the way to Essex on the train. And Mummy didn't come with me either.
I did at the time of it all happening because I was stressed, Carl. I was like, oh, my mum's not going to take me. Oh, I've got to get the train.
Mummy's not there to hold my hand.
And I've got to strap all this money to me. And I'd convinced myself that it wasn't legit. I was like, there's something wrong with this guy.
That's the problem.
That was it, yeah.
Do you also fall for those emails that you get when they were telling me about where it says beautiful Russian females are after you?
Yeah. I thought, did you get the same one?
I've never had them, no. I've had the Nigerian prince one a few times, but
I've had that this week. I emailed her back and she just said, could I send some money for her to help her with a tuition and to help
all
with
I
plane
need
tickets.
is the last couple of digits of your source code and account
that's exactly
number.
right. Apparently she's on her way over to see me, but she keeps cancelling. I don't know. I don't know. I get a lot of those. A lot of those emails. Yeah, and the old you've won the lottery. We just need we just need this. There's quite a lot going around, I think, at this time of year.
Some right dodgy ones. There was one on the TV the other day that said about what's the delivery company? DPD?
DPD, yeah.
Yeah, and they said that people are getting duped saying your parcel is with us, but you need to approve it. And it's like looks like a legitimate email. And then when you click the email address, it's like FCWPT2222222.
Yeah, it's not a real email address. I had a really
.com.
really good one last week that just said It was, and it didn't look like a spam one because it was from like someone called Jack or something like that. Yeah, from you,
Tom.
And it just
send
said,
money now, Carl.
it just said, we've got all your passwords. We've been able to access your computer, and we found some really interesting videos on there. In brackets, you know the ones.
Yeah, and you were like, oh God, it's those Saturday night bloody videos that I did. They've come back to haunt me.
And it said,
like, mate, I'm pretty proud of those Saturday night videos. Okay.
I think it was alluding to naughty videos rather than the self-isolation Saturday night takeaway series.
Yeah, rather than you singing "Pray" with 4 other boys.
Oh. Good times. All I do is now pray. It's worth watching on YouTube just for that little dance break, folks. So I got this email and it said, "We know we've seen these videos. We've got access to all your passwords. Send me," and it was a really odd amount. It was something like £834.15. Send us this, and we'll delete the videos.
Number.
Yeah, it wasn't just like send us $5,000. It was weird. Yeah. Send us the money, and we'll delete the videos. And I went back to him and I was like, "Jack, it's been a tough year for everyone involved. There's absolutely nothing on my computer that shouldn't be. If you need some help, can I advise you call this number?" And it was the Samaritans, and I just put the Samaritans number in there.
Good answer.
Yeah.
And then obviously you sent him the money anyway because he didn't want those videos to go anywhere.
I did not want the self-isolation shows to get into the wrong hands. Yeah. Scam emails. Yeah. People must fall for them though.
Oh, mate.
They must fall for them. Because
definitely. My poor mother-in-law, and she'll kill me for telling you this story, but she fell
What's her name?
for one about it. Wendy. Claire's mum.
Hi, Wendy.
Poor thing.
Does she watch?
Fell for one about Tom Toms.
Okay.
Where someone said, "Oh, your Tom Tom needs updating." She was like, "Oh, well, it must do then." So she clicked it. Poor thing, she clicked it and let them into the computer. They said, "Can't make it work. We're gonna have to mirror your computer." Oh, poor thing. It's awful. Wow. People are just.
Sorry to hear that your Tom Tom.
Oh no, I laughed.
Updated.
I did laugh.
Yeah.
I was like, you didn't even know anyone called Tom. Joke's on you, Wendy.
Do people still have Tom Toms?
I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, well, we use a Tom Tom every we go to America. We don't use our phone because the bill is not worth it.
There was when we were doing cruise ships a couple of years ago. I'm with EE. My phone's with EE.
Yeah, me too.
So
I mean, no, it's not. I haven't got a phone number. Don't try and contact me.
So I think with EE, it might be the same. I don't know if it's the same now, but a couple of years ago, anywhere you went in Europe, you're just allowed to use your minutes and your data. It's fine. Not the same for Vodafone. So the boys, we go to sleep on the ship as it's leaving Southampton. And we might wake up in like Le Havre or Portugal or something like that. Yeah. And during the night, their phones have been plugged in and tried to do an update or download emails or whatever. God. And they've gone through like
cellular at sea. That's the worst one, mate. Yes.
How do they get away? That
£20 a minute. Yeah.
It's madness, isn't it? But the ships themselves charge, it's like $35 a day,
isn't it? Yeah.
For internet. A day. I bought it first times I was on the ship, bought it. Have you ever tried to make a FaceTime call with the internet you can buy on a ship?
No.
I'm going to save anybody some money. If you're going on a cruise ship, don't buy the internet. Seriously, it is the worst in the world. The worst in the world. And they sell it as like the fastest internet at sea. It might be the fastest at sea. Doesn't make it anywhere near comparable to what we have on land. I was like, let me speak to the captain. Let me speak to the captain. They were like, "He's not available, Mr. Vaughan. Get him down here
Mr.
now."
Pugwash. Mr. Pugwash. I've got a few things to talk about.
Yeah.
Have you got any good cruising stories for the people at home?
So a good cruising story. We're on. I'm not going to name the company or the ship or anything like that because it doesn't matter.
Or Danny, or Jason, or Howard.
So we're on this ship, and I don't know whether you know, but cruise ships have stabilizers.
I do know. Weirdly, I have played quite a few.
I know you've played cruise ships, but you might not have known that they have stabilizers.
Okay.
So they have these stabilizers. And for anybody who's not been on a cruise ship, what the stabilizers do is they, while it's going sort of full steam ahead, if there's inclement weather, it stops the ship from rocking too much. They essentially keep it as flat as it can be.
Right.
Super duper important for a big cruise ship to have stabilizers. We got on this ship and one of the stabilizers had broken or had gone or wasn't there. So you've just got one stabilizer. So
Thompson ship.
I'm not telling you who it is. So comparing that to every other ship I've been on, everyone was feeling a bit sick. It was a little bit on the rocky side. We're on there for about 3 or 4 days and there's this massive bang and all the crew are sticking their life jackets on. We're in like the crew bar. And we're not at in the part of the ship where they're trying to keep people calm. Anyway, what's happened is, I think the word on the wire, or the word from the captain, was that they'd hit a whale and taken the other stabilizer off. So now we've got no stabilizers, and we're taking on water, like fast. So all the shows get cancelled that night. And they can't go ahead, apart from ours, because we were like, we'll do it. And there's a point where, like, we all sort of jump in the air for one of the dance breaks. And when we landed somewhere else. We all came onto the stage and we're all just ending up stage left and then stage right, because you can't, we all looked hammered drunk, because you're walking from the back of the drum riser to your microphone, but you can't walk in a straight line because of how severe the shit. Anyway, we were taking on water and we had to emergency dock in one of the Spanish ports. Wow. And they got us off the ship there. And obviously for everybody who was staying on, I think their holiday was ruined. For us, they flew us back to England.
Jackpot. Cha-ching.
We get to the airport and we all get our tickets. And we're boarding the plane. Danny goes on, goes to the right. Nick goes on, goes to the right. Jason goes on, goes to the right. Steve goes on, goes to the right. I get on last, and the lady goes, "Oh no, you're in first class, Mr. Vaughan." Just in earshot of the other 4 boys, and they were beside themselves. I just took pictures of my little red wine and steak meal that I had, and watched Avatar. Quite a difficult film to watch on a European flight that lasts 43 minutes when the film is 3 hours long.
I'm surprised you got steak as well.
But I did. No one else did. I was like, "Is there a meal?" They were like, "Well, it's only a short flight." I was like, "Look, this might be my only opportunity to go."
I'll have some Pringles.
Yeah, I will. Champagne? I'll take a bottle. Sir, the flight is 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. I'll get through it.
If there's any water and Pringles going, they should be on my table by now.
But like all the things that you'd want to do on a first class flight, I was trying to tick all the boxes. So I was like, I'm going to go to the toilet. I pressed the bell thing. I was like, I'm going to go to the toilet. Can you make my bed? Like, because they have to turn your seat into a bed. They made me a bed. And then when I got back, I was like, can you turn it back into a chair? Because I can't eat my dinner if I'm laid down.
Such a painful guest.
Yeah. But mate, that's my cruise ship story. And I don't recall worrying about it as much at the time. I've just told you there that we'd hit something and we were taking on water. I don't remember it being that scared about it. I probably should have been.
Claire and I was singing on one once, and Claire came with me and we flew to Mumbai, and they went, I'm sure it was it that one? And we went to Egypt, and there was some, it was on a Azamara ship. Do you know the Azamara ships? Do you ever do those? They're classed as 7 stars.
Never heard of Azamara.
So they're classed as 7 stars, and people pay excruciating amounts of money to go on these cruise ships. Like,
so wait a minute. If they're paying excruciating amounts of money,
why are they watching me, right?
Yeah, why are you playing there?
And you have to, like, part of the rule is you take people for dinner. Like, you host a table. Me, little Carl, hosting a table full of extremely rich, posh people
I know you pretty well. You couldn't
Yeah.
host the bingo.
Look at little Tommy Vaughan making his jokes. No, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, but it's just like for example,
All the fours, 36.
But what I mean is, there are people who are very, very good at that. And there are
Mate,
people
I'm not one of them.
Who just the idea of that hosting a dinner table with loads of posh people you haven't met before would be their idea of hell. And I'm saying is, I know you well enough to know that isn't what you. That's not how you want to spend your time.
However,
was the money good?
They took a shine.
Money good, was it?
Cha-ching, my friend.
Sit down next to me, love.
They took a very big shine to little Carl because I have no filter, do I? I say what I think, and I think what I say. Yeah.
These podcasts would be an hour and a half down there for singing. What?
And the wine list came, and obviously like every other wine list, just 3 times more expensive, where it starts on for a bottle of wine at price A and gets to price Z, but price C is like there's no chance of, well, for me anyway, I couldn't afford price A by the time I get to price C. But I'm not paying, so I just went, maybe we'll have that one, is it?
For everybody who didn't see that and was listening,
put my finger on A and moved it to Z.
Yeah. So Carpet's the most expensive bottle of wine.
Yeah, why not? I wasn't paying. I was hosting the table. Put it on Captain Pugwash's bill.
Have you played the Azir since then? No, last time was it?
Yeah, a couple of times I played it.
Oh, okay,
they're lovely on there. But I also the ship got attacked by pirates, and that sounds very made up, but is a very true fact that pirates. So not like pirates like you, like Johnny Depp pirates.
I had 2 earrings in before we shot this, and no word of a lie.
Damn it!
I said to you, 5 minutes and I'll be ready. And
you were taking your Pat Butchers out.
No, I went into the bathroom to brush my teeth or whatever I was doing, and I saw myself in the mirror and I was like, "It's got to come out. It's got to come out." And in my head, I was like, "Yeah, he's going to do me on that." So the dangly one came out.
Let me tell my pirate
story.
Go on,
tell your pirate story.
So the pirates, this is genuine. So what they do is there's a point A and a point B where they pick up, the cruise ship will pick up like Royal Marines and just keep them on just in case this happens. Because what the pirates want is they want to come on the ship and then basically hold the ship hostage. They want a bit of money to give the ship back to the company. They're not really interested in hurting people. It's not like that. They want money off the cruise ship company to let the ship go. So they hire these Royal Marines. They go on the top deck. Once you've passed point B, it's fine. They get picked up. They go on their way and you're safe again. But there's a bit of water and it's like, and all the way through it, the captain kind of went, like on day one, the captain's like, oh, we might get those pirates. Like that, day 2. Anybody seen any pirates? By day 4, he was like, Mayday, Mayday. There is a pirate. It was like, there's pirates attacking the ship. So they send 2 flares up, and the second flare basically says, we're going to shoot. But what they tell everybody to do, because every Azamara room has a balcony, so every stateroom on the ship has a balcony. And probably like you guys, when I fly on to do a cruise ship gig, you get guest status. You stay in a guest room, so we had a balcony. Sure. It was lovely. Claire came with. And they say over the tannoy, go into the hallways. If you're in your room, go into the hallways. You have to sit in the hallways just in case they come onto the balcony and then someone's in the room and then they'll potentially could take, it kind of, I'm joking about it. It gets a bit serious.
Of course it does.
Everybody moved into pirates. The hallway. Well, yeah. Everybody moved into the hallway and there was like a bit of a panic station and Claire's going, where's my phone? Where's my phone? And I'm like, Claire, don't worry. It doesn't work at sea anyway. She's like, what are you talking about? This is great content. This is going to be brilliant for my Instagram feed. I'm like, stop it with the Instagram feed. We could die here. What are you talking about? Instagramming. Like taking selfies with the pirates. Anyway, so yeah, that was my pirate story. We didn't get it. They didn't come on the ship. We were all safe. We were all well. But yeah, Claire did try and take the Instagram shot. Got to get it for the gram kind of thing.
Got to get it for the gram. Got to. Yeah.
So
we hit a whale. You had a pirate. Good cruise ship stories.
I got one more for you if you want to hear it.
Hit me with your rhythm stick.
I was playing on a Regent ship, and on the Regent ships, they tend to be a little bit. Again, I've been really super lucky. They played a lot of the 7-star. There's smaller ships. Everyone's a bit more intimate. There's like every room has butler kind of thing.
What was yours called?
I don't know.
Don't even remember his name. He's lost touch with the common man.
Philippe.
Oh, I've got a wicked one. You just reminded me of a brilliant.
I've got to tell you this story before I forget.
You can go on.
Okay, so I'm going through the every day you get a cruise ship like booklet.
Cruise compass, is it?
Something like that. Yeah. So I'm going through it, and
gives
my
you
show
all the
is
information of what's happening that day. Yeah.
Activities, and my show is the day after. So, going through it. Day 2, I go and do my show. So I'm doing the sound check, and you know what it's like. You get 30 minutes to sound check with the band to rehearse sound check, but for an hour show. So you do a bit of every song kind of thing.
Your top and tail. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I do a sound check, I always look at the band. I never, the room is empty. The theater is empty. So I turn around, mic stand, I look at the band. We're all looking at each other. Everyone gets the cues. So also there's no stage on a Regent. It's ground level. It's a theater, but everything's ground level. So because they do dances and stuff. So I'm doing the sound check, and some bloke taps me on the shoulder, and he's an old bloke, but he's quite a big bloke. Like he's quite tall and big, and he taps me on the shoulder. So I pop my in-ear out, and I'm like, "You all right, mate?" And he goes, "Just want to say, think you're great." It's like looking at the band; they're all looking at me. I'm like, thanks, man. Look, we're just in the middle of sound check. Grab a seat. I'll come and have a chat now. When we're done, he says, "Brilliant. Thank you. What a lovely young man you are." So he goes, obviously doesn't know me. He goes and takes a seat. I do one more, like half a song with the band. He comes back onto the stage a bit, taps me on the shoulder again. He's like, "Just want to say, your voice, I really think your voice is great. Like, how long have you been singing? What have you?" And I'm like looking at the band going, "Boys, how do I get rid of this bloke?" So I said, "Mate, honestly, now we only got about 30 minutes to sound check. Grab a seat," thinking to the boys, I wish this guy would go and take a seat, leave me alone for a bit. So he does, he takes a seat. So I finished the sound check, and I went and I had a chat with him after it, and he said, "Would you like to come for dinner with my wife and I? Have a chat. I work in the industry." I was like, yeah, you know me. Of course I do want to go and have dinner with a complete stranger. I don't like my friends, never mind complete strangers. And anyway, so I went back to the room. I'm looking at the Daily Compass, and I see, you might have to edit this thing down because I'm wailing, I'm waffling, and I'm looking at the compass, and it says an audience with James Bond. I'm thinking, James Bond's on here. Like, this is obviously a joke. And it says underneath, Roger Moore, James Bond. So I called Claire, and I was like, "Claire, do you know who Roger Moore is?" She said, "Yeah, of course I know who Roger Moore is. James Bond." Because I know the name. Of
course you wouldn't. You've been living under a rock.
I don't watch films.
Why would you know who James Bond is or was?
So I was like, well, I'm going to go to an audience with James Bond. And it was at 5 o'clock, something like that day. Turns out, obviously, the guy that had tapped me on the shoulder
was bloody
Roger Moore. Went in, I was like, uh-oh. That's why he was in the theater. That's why everybody who I thought was looking at me back going, "Who is this clown?" was also looking at me going, "Oh my God, it's Roger Moore." And I had completely no idea.
Did you have dinner with him?
Yeah, cause I
What
had
did he
dinner with
eat?
him.
What did he have to eat? Oh, Roger.
Steak. I can't remember.
Did you? Bet he
It was
didn't let
ages
you order
ago.
the wine, did he?
No, he did send me a bottle of Moet all signed to my room.
Wow. And did he come and
Yeah.
watch your show, or was he probably
Yeah,
busy?
so what
Busy with the pirates.
he was busy hanging out with Captain Jack. He came to the show and he was like the nicest guy in the world. Gave me his email address and everything afterwards to stay in touch.
Does his email
And
address have 007 in it? Tell me it does.
Oh man, how good would that have been?
If he
At
just went, it's
007.com.
Roger Moore.
Yeah. You're not going to forget
007
it.
at gmail.com.
At Outlook Express.
Yeah.
And but he did leave like 2 songs before the end. The only reason he was doing the Q&A was because he was on there for a holiday and so many people had stopped him for pictures, and he was like obviously a big deal on there to people. That
Of course he's a big deal.
He was doing a Q&A for people so that they could have
Leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone, basically. Yeah, and I was the one going, mate, wish this guy would leave me alone. Yeah.
So it's a very, very good cruise story. Very, very good cruise story.
Thanks, mate.
We were talking just,
but not as good as.
No. I mean, I think this is a better story, but that's because it happened to me.
Go on.
I didn't meet Roger Moore, so ain't that exciting for me, is it?
Go on.
It's just you telling me as far as I'm concerned, you met an old bloke. You didn't even know it was Roger Moore.
I didn't know it was him. That's a fact, that is.
Stateroom attendants.
Yeah.
Or as you called them, your butler.
Javier.
We had one, and he, every time we got on a ship, the same guy seemed to be there. He was like that guy out of the Adam Sandler film, Mr. Deeds, oh, sneaky, sneaky. Wherever you were, he was there.
Right, okay.
And I met him on the first day, and he said, I'm looking after your stateroom. And I shook his hand. He says, he'd have been sort of 20 something. He's from the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, what's your name, mate? And he goes, Chocolate. And I said, your name, you're called Chocolate? And he went, yeah, chocolate. I went, what, like the food? And he went, yeah, like the food. So anyway, we met this guy Chocolate, and that was about as far as his English extended to, was the sort of greetings for the guests when they got on the ship. And obviously we'd seen him on a couple of ships, and he was the guy who made up the beds in all of the guys in the band's rooms. You know what I mean? Okay. We were all on the same corridor.
Yeah, because you're on the same. Yeah.
It was just him.
Bored.
And obviously during the course of the cruise, we didn't get to know him, because other than hello, my name's Chocolate, that was about as far as he could speak the Queen's. And then I at one point, I can't remember, we might have been 3 ships deep, and he went, you, me, we drink tonight. And I was like,
he's Russian now.
Yeah, I can't do the accents. And I went, yeah, sure, Chocolate. What? Yeah, we'll see you at the staff party or whatever it was. And I said to the boys, I was like, Chocolate's asked us if we want to go for a drink. Turns out, I think he just asked me. I don't know whether he'd taken a bit of a shine to me or what, but that was how it was.
Why wouldn't
anyway, if you've ever seen the stateroom attendants, or as Carl calls them, the butlers of the sea.
No.
I know what you mean. On that ship,
you
get butler. Yeah. So if you've seen the stateroom attendants, they're all dressed incredibly smartly. Yeah. Incredibly smart, considering that their job would probably be better suited to a pair of jogging bottoms and trainers, so they can get in and out there. But they're really, really smart. So I've only ever seen Chocolate in like a waistcoat with a little dicky bow on.
Yeah.
And we get to this staff party, and out of nowhere, this guy, and he's dressed at this point like Eminem was when Eminem first hit the scene. He's got like a bandana on, a sideways cap, like this little jaunty neckerchief. He's in a vest. He's got tattoos. Yeah. And he comes towards me and just makes this noise. Whoa! Like that. And he's pointing at me. And I'm frightened now.
Chocolate!
Chocolate! Is it you? And he's not. He's only about 5'6", 5'7", but he now looks like a proper gangster.
Yeah.
And he sort of comes up to me and he hands me a bottle of Diet Coke.
Oh.
And
he's already gone down in my gangster activity.
And we sort of went cheers and clinked the glasses. And then we stood next to each other for about 35 minutes and didn't say a word. Because I was like, you all right? You okay? Giving him the thumbs up, trying to make it visual so that the language barrier isn't a problem. And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. Hey, you okay? I bet, yeah, I'm fine like this. We couldn't speak to each other. But there isn't a day that goes by.
It was surprising you didn't get that already when he introduced himself and he went, "Hi, my name is what? My name is
very good.
Who?
Very
my
good.
name chicka
chocolate. Yeah. But he was.
I love him.
He was the best stateroom attendant.
Yeah, I love them because they work incredibly hard. They don't get a lot of money, really, is the truth. They're always lovely. They're always upbeat. And the thing I really like I always try to not. I put that thing on the door that says, if I'm on my own on the ship, I put that thing on the door that says, "Don't worry about making my room up." Because
you got your wife with you, haven't you? There's no need.
I'm getting there. If I'm on my own.
Oh, right. I'm absolutely sure that on the ships that have 3,500 passengers, that your stateroom attendant, or just calling for this purpose chocolate, goes, "Oh, I've got to make up 3,499 rooms. God, thanks, Carl. You've really saved me some time. Really haven't got to. Do you know what? I'll have an extra hour at lunch because Carl's left the thing on his door." We got on one. Obviously, when you go on a cruise, if you're going on your own, for example, it's one room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas when we've been on with the band,
you shared you?
5 rooms, 5 flights. But sometimes when we get on, they might have oversold the ship. And the first time we got on one, I was with little Paul.
Right.
And we'd got a really nice room, really, really lovely room, but it just had a double bed in it. It was like for a couple. And we later found out
for Tom.
Yeah. Cha-ching. And we later found out that
we can change that for you, sir. No. It's okay. No panic. No, it's really easy to change it. No.
Leave it as it is. Chocolate. You coming in? There was a brilliant moment where we did work it out that because me and little Paul were living together.
Yeah.
And we got the same address, they just assumed
you were a couple
in Miami that we were a gay couple. So every ship we got on after that had the same thing. And I kept telling little Paul to change his address. I was like, "You don't even live with me anymore. Change your address." And he was like, yeah. He never got round to it. So every time we got on a ship, it had a double bed. But on this one, they did manage to split it into 2 single beds. But when I say they managed to split it, the gap between the 2 beds wasn't big enough for you to put your arm between, as in if you wanted to slide your arm down the side of the bed, you'd be touching both beds. So we essentially, and it was a 2-week job, this was the longest time we've ever done a ship for, was 2 weeks, and this was that one. And me and him shared a room and a bed for 2 weeks, and the bed looked at where the toilet was, and the toilet wasn't behind frosted glass. So every morning he'd wake up and he'd go, "Little Paul need poo." And I'd go, "Excellent." And I'd have to go and stand on the balcony until he'd unlock the balcony door and he'd done his poo. And then I'd go back into the room and he'd go, "Do you need a poo?" And I go, "Well, probably." And then he'd go and stand out on the balcony while I had a little poo. And we did that for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Wow. We went insane to the point that.
And then you got married and moved back in together.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Pretty much love's a young dream. I remember at one point we had a laptop with a studio in it. I was working on some song for somebody who was paying me, and I stopped doing that. And me and him stuck a face on like the little waste paper bin, and wrote a song called "Mr. Bin."
Wow!
And then we filmed a video for it where the bin essentially went on a journey all around Europe.
Available on Spotify now, my friends.
It isn't, and we did everybody's head in with it. But Mr. Bin, I might, if I can find it, I might put a little clip in here. But it's
brilliant.
It's essentially us just Mr. Bin's ordering a pizza.
I'm sure the people at home are riveted.
Mr. Bin. But yeah, we had share rooms. But the point I was making before that, when we were talking about crew rooms, is sometimes when they oversell the ship we get on, and we do have to share, and it's okay. Most of the time it's fine. They're big rooms, and you know what I mean. It's enough space. And we got on one, and they said, "We've got enough for 3 of you to to share up top, and then there's maybe one crew room, and we were like, oh. So we all sort of got together and said, should we just give the crew room to Danny? And we were like, yeah. So, but I think Danny ended up sharing with one of the chefs.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong. I could just be making that up. That's how I like to remember it. Just Danny on the top bunk with a chef. You know, you might not have, but yeah, perfect. That's how that one
plays out.
Played out.
That's how one plays out every time in your mind.
Do you find though that now you've done a lot of cruises, because we've done a lot of cruises, they're great to work on. They're on some of the theatres on those ships they rival the West End theatres and stages with what they've got and how it works and stuff. Do you?
Yeah, it's different for me though, because I'll fly on with an acoustic guitar, and
we use the orchestra, and that's.
No, I do
phenomenal.
use the orchestra. I do on the brass and everything, but it's just me. What is where I'm coming from. The boys, it's not a band gig. They fly me on. I do a 45-minute set once, sometimes twice in the same night, and then fly. You know, you have either the week there, or you fly home. So it's a bit of a different experience because I have the week on my own with my own company, and it's it's fine once, twice when it's constant.
3 times a lady, yeah.
When it's constant, it gets a bit like.
My question was going to be that as you've done all those ships now, do you find that it wouldn't be your choice to do that on holiday, to do it as a holiday?
Oh, so often, if we're thinking of a family holiday, Claire will say, "Oh, should we go on a cruise with my parents and my sister and my brother and their kids and whatever?" And then my mum and dad will say, "Oh, should we have a family holiday? We could go on a cruise." It's like the last thing I want to do.
And the Tom Tom.
Wendy and the Tom Tom. I'll find our way there.
I'll get us to the ship on time. I've just had it updated. And then she gets on the ship. She goes, "Carl, I am going to need you to buy me some internet. For some reason, I've got nothing in the bank."
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. I cut you off.
No, so it's the last kind of holiday.
I feel like I've ruined it as well now. Like that, for the same thing, just because I've done so many ships now, when I think of a holiday, I think of something that's as far away from work as possible. And they're a brilliant way to see the world. I mean, I've seen some of the most beautiful places on Earth while I've been doing those.
I'd never have gone to Mumbai without going on a ship.
Most beautiful place I went to was Montenegro. Just breathtaking.
Yeah,
like you get off the ship and it's jaw on the floor. Beautiful.
In one year, I did the fjords 6 times.
That's another phenomenal.
Yeah, by the
place. 3rd
time that I was like, it's just some trees in it. It's just a bunch of trees. We got loads of fields and forests in Wales.
If you haven't seen the fjords or know what Carl's talking about, I implore you to, number 1, Google it, and number 2, add it to your bucket list, because it is, and they are, a lot more than just a load of trees and fields.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I'm on your own when the captain makes the announcement, and ladies and gentlemen, maybe come up to the top deck now and have a look at the fjords. I'm watching a film in the room. I'm like,
Simpsons is on next.
Yeah, I could go on the balcony and have a look, but it's just a bunch of trees, really, innit?
I do get what you mean. The first time we did the ships, every time the ship stopped, we were leaping off the ship. By the 5th or 6th time of doing them, you're
just looking for an internet cafe.
Yeah.
That's true.
You are just working out pretty much that when everybody gets off the ship, you've got it to yourself, and that's when it's really really cool and it's quiet. I've liked the cruise ship episode. Cruise ship episode's been good.
Too.
I enjoyed it.
Sunk. Boom.
But I think the brilliance of it is you've not ever told me those stories before. Normally, I've heard what you've got to say, and I'm just pretending to be interested in it for a second time.
Mate.
Sometimes a third time.
When you tell me your stories, I'm never fucking interested because they're always shit.
I think we got quite a lot of the episode done without having to have swearing until that last sentence, and we got some F's and some S's in. Yeah. Listen,
I'd like to make a formal apology to my mother.
Definitely. What are you getting Wendy for Christmas? Not a Tom Tom.
No, God no. No one wants any sort of Tom in their life, because every Tom is a.
And on that note, Thank you very, very much for watching the Awkward Turkey podcast episode. I can't even remember where we're up to
in
now.
2021. Episode 2 in 2021.
Which would make it...
Episode...
Yeah. You don't know what day it is. I don't know what episode it is. But rest assured, ladies and
I don't know
gents,
what my name is anymore, mate.
Carl and
I've
Tom
lost
are
the
trying.
will.
Carl and Tom are trying their best. I'm really glad after the last couple of episodes that we didn't call it the Big Laughs podcast. Because I feel like there would have been a gargantuan amount of pressure on you and I to produce the aforementioned Big Laughs week after week. Yeah. Carl, I feel like every episode, I want to start something. I've just decided every episode we should have Carl's final thoughts. A bit like they used to have on Jerry Springer, where they do the whole episode and then just have one final thing to sign the episode off. You can do it this week. I'll do it next week.
All right.
You do it the week after.
All right, mate. All right.
And I'll do a little title. Carl, give us your final thoughts.
Okay. If some random old bloke ever comes up and taps you on the shoulder, just be nice. You never know how much money he's got in the bank.
Excellent. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
This